Hi everyone. In this video, I'm trying to troubleshoot this particular problem. I just logged into my storefront server, and once I log into the machine, once I logged into the storefront server, it says there are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. So I'm planning to troubleshoot this problem in this video. So I'll just try to log off and I'll show that to you again. So I'll try to log in. Okay, when I click login, it tries to log into the storefront server. Okay, we still see the same error message. There are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. So let's do one thing. Let's go to storefront server. So this is storefront server. Let me check the services first on the storefront server. Okay, everything looks okay. What is a Citrix service monitor? Okay. Okay, everything looks good. Citrix telemetry service is running. Citrix subscription store, Citrix default domain service is okay. Citrix credential wallet. So everything looks okay. Let me start this automatic services once. Okay. So all Citrix related services are up and running fine. Okay, all Citrix related services are up. Let's do one thing. Let's go to Citrix controller. So this is my controller. It's still trying to load the information for whatever reason. Okay, let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, so while it loads the site information, let's go to services and see what is happening. Let me refresh and let me check the status of the services on the controller. Okay, if you see here, SQL Server agent is in down state. Let me start the service and see how it goes. Okay, seems like it is started now. And let's cross check all the automatic services once. Okay, all Citrix related services are up. Okay, so everything looks good. Okay, the site is still loading. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to the storefront. Okay, where is the web page? Okay, let me log off and let me log in again and see how it goes. Okay. Okay, I'm logging in. It is taking a few seconds. Let's see how it goes this time. Okay, we still get the same error message. There are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. Let's try some other troubleshooting steps. For whatever reason, the site is still loading. So let's wait until this is completed, but it is going to take a while. So let's cross check services. Let's refresh once. Okay, we have refreshed it. Okay, everything is good. Okay, everything looks good from here. Let's do one thing. Where is this SQL Server? Okay, this is SQL Server agent. So here we find SQL Server. Okay, let's do one thing. I would like to restart SQL Server. Okay, I'm going to click yes because it is taking a while to load the database. So I'm going to restart SQL Server and see how it goes. Okay, so it's getting restarted. I think this is going to take a minute or two. So please bear with me. It's almost there. So sometimes even though the services are in started state or running state, sometimes it doesn't respond for whatever reason. So you can try restarting the service and see how it goes. Since this is a lab environment, I can test it out, but in a production environment you have to make sure that you are doing the steps in a proper order. It's almost there. All right. I hope it will finish without any errors. Oh, we got an error. It says Windows could not stop the SQL Server service on local computer. Error 1053. The service did not respond to the start or control request in a timely fashion. Okay, click OK. So, okay, if you see here, the status is in stopping state. So let's wait and see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to hit the refresh button here. The SQL Server agent is in stopping state and the SQL Server is in running state, which is good. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to the storefront server once and refresh and see how it goes. Okay, let me log off. Let me re-log in and see how it goes. Okay, I'm trying to log in. Let's see how it goes this time. I hope we will see some resources. Okay, it still says there are no apps or desktops available to you at this time. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's check the status of okay, let me connect to the Zen server. Okay. Okay, if you see here, the virtual machine or the VDI is in power off state. Let me turn it on. So that could be the problem. So for whatever reason, the Zen server is up, but the VDI is in down state, or it is in power off state. So we are powering it on right now. So it's always good to check, what is the status on the back end. Yes, we do check Citrix storefront server, Citrix controller, all these things. But if the application is published on a server, or if it is a virtual desktop, then it is really good to check the status of the virtual desktop first on Zen server or VMware ESXi or whatever server virtualization environment you are using. Sometimes, even though the VDI is in power on state, sometimes they go to the hung state. So you have to check the status in the console, like whether they are in hung state or they have logged in to the Windows screen successfully. So these are some things we have to see while troubleshooting a problem. Okay, let's go back to controller and see what is happening here. Okay, it says a working environment test service could not be found. Interesting. Let's try to click connect once again in the meanwhile. Everything looks okay. So let's see what is going to happen here. Okay, so it is saying it's environment test, right? Let's do one thing. Let's let's check the services once. Okay, so this is Citrix environment test service. So it manages tests for evaluating the state of a Zen desktop site. Let's do one thing. Let's quickly restart the service. This is still loading. It says assessing databases, and here it is loading. So let's see how it goes. Okay, it says assessing service configurations. Okay, it's loading now. It's moving. It's moving now a little bit. And the service is successfully restarted here. Here it is still trying to load. It says assessing service configuration. Now it is saying assessing configuration files. Okay, it's trying to load. It's almost there. Okay, it says loading site information, so it should be up. So if it says loading site information, it should be up mostly. Let's see. So it's always good to check what is the error message you're getting. Based upon that, you can troubleshoot. So here it says a working environment test service. That's why I restarted environment test service. So if you get some other error, you can check the status of that service on the server, and you can troubleshoot accordingly. Okay, everything looks fine. Yeah, everything looks okay. If you see here, SQL Server agent is in stop state. Let me start and see how it goes. Okay, now it is running. Now let's go back to Citrix Studio. Okay, it's there. It's almost there. I think it is completed. So we have seen a couple of issues in this particular video. It's not just the applications were not visible in storefront. We could see that some of the services are not responding on the controller, and we have noticed some services issues on storefront server as well. And when it comes to Zen server, the VDI machine was in turned off state. So there were a lot of issues that we could find. So it loaded successfully right now. Okay, so the studio console is launched successfully. So let me do one thing. Let me quickly go back to the storefront server and see how it goes this time. So this was the initial issue we started troubleshooting. So let me log in. Okay, let me click login. I hope we will find some applications this time if the issue is resolved. All right, we see some applications now. We see uh, yeah, let me click on all apps. Okay, we see command prompt, notepad, MS Paint, and we also see a virtual desktop here. Let's do one thing. Let's try to launch a virtual desktop and see how it goes. And let us also try to launch MS Paint. Okay, it says open Citrix Receiver Launcher. Let's click on it. So if this app launches, it means that the issue has been resolved successfully. All right, so it's trying to launch a virtual desktop, Windows Server OS. So if it passes this screen, if it passes connecting screen, it means that the session has been launched. Okay, so we are there, we are almost there. So while connecting, if it throws an any error message, then it's a problem. So here it says to sign in remotely, you need the right to sign in through remote desktop services. By default, members of the RDP users group have the right. If the group you are doesn't have this right, or if this right has been removed from, okay, so basically this particular user account doesn't have access to log into this particular server, but that's not a problem. At least we could launch the virtual desktop without any issues because we didn't get any error message. Now let's do one thing. Let's quickly go back and see what is the status of the virtual application. Okay, let me click on MS Paint again and see how it goes. Okay, it's trying to launch. I clicked open. Okay, it says connection established, negotiating capabilities. Okay, it seems like the app is up. So this is Windows Server 2001 again. Let me close it. Let me open Notepad. Seems like this particular user doesn't have rights to access this particular machine, but the app is launching fine, that I can say. So let me try to launch Notepad and see if it gives the same error message or it will let us log in. Interesting, it says cannot start app. Let me close it and let me try to launch it again and see how it goes. Okay, it says open Citrix Receiver Launcher. Let me try to launch this application. All right, it's trying to load. I think we get the same message. It says the user doesn't have permissions. Okay, let's do one thing. The initial issue has been resolved because initially we were not able to see any applications, but right now we could see applications, but this particular user doesn't have access. So let's do one thing. Let me log off. Let me log in as administrator because administrator should have access. So let me connect to the same server, same applications, but with administrator account and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm trying to log in now. We are connecting to the same server and we will try to launch the applications again. Okay, now we are connected to we see the same virtual desktop. Now let's try to launch this machine as administrators because the administrator should have permissions to access the applications. So it should not throw any more error message now, hopefully. Okay, it says connecting and this time we could log in successfully without any issues and it's taking us to the desktop. In a few seconds. All right, it's loading slowly. Yes, so this is the VDI machine that we are connected just now. So this is VDI. It has been it's launched successfully. If you want to check, let us wait a few seconds. Okay, so let me refresh this, let me minimize this, and if you want to check you can just come here and right click on receiver, click on connection center, and if you notice here it says Windows Server OS Citrix receiver. So this means that the session has been established. That is why we could see Windows Server OS here under Citrix connection center. Alright guys, so we could launch the application without any issues and the issue has been resolved successfully in this particular video. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.